Well, we're going back now to Durban, to the World Economic Forum on Africa. We cross to our reporter, Diabo Sito. She's live from Durban. Diabo, the final day of WEF, and certainly mixed reactions coming out that business activity is on the decline, but business confidence is on the increase. What have you got for us?
Natasha, it is indeed that the World Economic Forum has concluded, and you could say that it was a success. And I know that the city of Durban must have raised a lot of money emanating from this conference. It was estimated to have been getting around 155 million that was expected to be made out of this conference that was held here in eThekwini. But with me, I have the spokesperson on behalf of government. That would be our Minister of Communications, Ms. Dlodlo, who will tell us what exactly the South African government told the investors, the visitors, about the status quo in South Africa and what we're expecting next, and maybe we'll find out where WEF is going to next year this time around. Ms. Dlodlo, thank you very much, Minister, for your time. So it has concluded, it is finished. What has government told the world through this WEF Africa?
Well, what has come out of all of this is that Africa is on the right track. We are in the process of implementing on whatever principles and projects that would have come out of Agenda 2063 of the African Union. We are on track with regards to linking all of that to any other programs of national plans in the various countries. But over and above that, it also speaks to the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals. So all that global agenda mixed with that of the continent and the various countries is what came out in these meetings, the deliberations over the past few days. But the most important thing is that the youth was at the center of deliberation. So for me, we are seeing the youth coming out more and more on world economic issues, but also from a political perspective, bringing out what it is that they want to see as their future, including the future of their children, their great-grandchildren, and for generations to come.
At the center of this WEF, obviously the attention was on South Africa as a country and how we are doing. Do you think that we were able to tell the investors that we are still open for business?
Well, the very fact that we have been elevated in so many ways. World ratings are looking good insofar as South Africa is concerned. The fact that the WEF could still have been held here is an indication that there are those niggling things that might affect us, but the rest of the world still looks at us favorably. Nothing has changed. The reshuffle happened, and I think this is what people were saying, that the reshuffle, this thing might not come to South Africa, but it did come to South Africa. We held our own. We ensured that it was going to be the best of the best. As we always do things in South Africa, we want to showcase the best of what it is that we're about as a nation.
I did mention about how much eThekwini or Durban has raked in through this this conference. It was estimated to be around 155 million that has come in. This is great for any town that hosts a conference of this magnitude. I'm sure you would agree with me.
But you must remember, Durban hosts a whole lot of these international conferences. It is a conferencing destination. There is no city in this country that hosts as many conferences or events, international events, as Durban does. They have proved their mettle. They have shown to be the best in the country, and we salute the work that has been done by the city. But over and above that, the collaboration with the various international bodies like WEF and the national body, which is government at a national level in the province, all coming together to ensure that this was a success. And as you can see, it is a major success.
You spoke earlier about Agenda 2063 and advancing to Agenda 2063. In your portfolio as a communications minister, you are tasked with making sure that technological advancement in the communication space, they go forward. What are your plans? Next 2018, WEF Africa 2018, what would you like to see differently handled or done differently? What would you like to see as advancing to in terms of technological advancements?
Well, internet connectivity for our people, lower the cost of data, ensure that digital migration is in place, and ensure that people are able to communicate and it isn't as expensive as it is today. So that's what I would want to do, but also ensuring that government is in the ears and the eyes of our people. We must be visible, We must be doing the right things. People must see action. People must give us feedback. These are the platforms that I would want us to start talking on.
I know that we spoke earlier on about the issue of the message that we are trying to send. So in Africa as a whole, we rely a lot on the West to come and invest into the continent. However, they also face their own challenges. How do we still strategically poise ourselves in Africa as an investment continent and one that is open and willing to grow, while we are cognizant of the fact that other countries in the developed economies are still struggling themselves?
Well, what we need to do as a continent so that we grow our economies, let us stop being the net exporter of raw materials. Let's be the exporters of finished products. That takes into account a whole host of things. You need to make sure that the education system is right, that it churns out the type of skilled people that will be able to come into that type of economic environment. You need to ensure that there's technology that supports the growth of your economy, but innovation as well. We need to invest in innovation, research and development, so that we can then be the best of the best. We have a region that has got the fastest growing economies. How do we harness all of that within the continent to ensure that the continent in its totality looks good?
Minister, one of the key themes for this conference was inclusive growth and, of course, a government's own radical economic transformation. Do you think we're able to communicate that message effectively to people to understand what South Africa is trying to do in involving more black people and including them in the economy?
I think that's what this whole conference, this whole WEF on Africa is about. It is about inclusive growth. We might call it radical economic transformation, but at the end of the day, the economies of the continent need to be transformed so that more players are brought into it. Now you grow the cake, ensure that more people participate in it. We will bring in regulation that makes it easy for investors to come and do business in our continent. We will make it easier by investing in technology, investing in innovation, putting R&D at the top of our agenda so that our economies could grow. So that radical economic transformation is about ensuring that the woman or the youth that would otherwise not have been able to come into the economy, those opportunities are created for them to access the economy.
Minister Dlodlo, thank you very much for making time to speak to us. We really do appreciate it. That was Minister Dlodlo. She is our Minister of Communications right here in South Africa. She would be the one that gives us the message of what government wanted the world to know about what South Africa has to offer. Of course, the President mentioning the issue of inclusive growth and that the economy needs to grow so that it can absorb more people to, of course, dent the unemployment rate and to increase economic growth as a whole. And that is it from Durban, from the WEF, World Economic Forum for this hour. But in the next hour, we will be bringing you some other key players to find out about their experiences of the World Economic Forum.